What's up, guys? Well, what can I I think we need to reload this. 1 minute. Shoot. 1 second, I have to refresh. I'm going to add myself. There we go. I just switched over from doing Nick and Jeremy show, so I apologize for the first 30 seconds of the show. But welcome, everybody, to Wednesday Night Live. And we have a whole lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get right into it. Shoot, let's forget the 30-second intro. Let's just get right into the intro. And well, welcome everybody to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watch2K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. Quick reminder, if you're brand new, welcome aboard. Please like and subscribe. Tell a friend about the channel. That's what helps us to grow. We have crossed over the 900 subscriber threshold, and I want to thank you guys for making that happen. The channel is continuing to grow. I'm seeing some real good progress, and I can't do this without you. So thank you guys a million times over. All right. Now, there is a possibility, by the way, in the future, I may be changing the schedule of the show. I'm not taking it off Wednesdays, but we may be moving it a little bit earlier. Being that I'm in a new area, might be changed. I have a new work schedule, might need to change some things around, maybe move the show a little bit earlier, so I'm not going head-to-head with anybody. But I plan to make that decision in the next week. I will let you know what's going to happen there as soon as I can. All right, guys. So let's get right into this. We got a whole lot of stuff that we want to talk about. And let's see. Oh, looks like I got to bring my slides back in. All right, I should have this done pretty quickly. Yeah, we'll get into the highlight tonight. We're going to grade every New York Jets position group. So we're going to get into all of that in a little bit tonight. But first of all, let's talk about what's on my mind with a segment of what we like to call 3 and Out. So the first thing we're going to talk about tonight is the New York Rangers in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now that series is tied at 2 wins apiece with Florida. And that game on Tuesday night was very frustrating. It is more of what we have seen over and over in this series. Just 112 into overtime. Sam Reinhart scores a 3-2 defeat for the Rangers. And what's so frustrating about it is the first period was just, it started out so strong for the Rangers. It really did. They played probably their best period of hockey all series long. They were aggressive. They got on the power play, finally scored on one of them. And right after that, that turned into 40 minutes of just having their butts kicked up and down the ice in Sunrise, Florida, basically right next door to the swamp, because the Panthers don't play down like in Miami. They play up just, northwest of Fort Lauderdale, right next to the alligators. All right, that's where they are. Periods 2 and 3, they get outshot 27-10. Yes, some of the goals were bad luck, bad bounces of the puck, all of that. I'm hearing Peter Laviolette talking about lapses that the team is going through. Stop. A lapse does not last 40 minutes, okay? The high danger scoring chances, 15-2 in favor of Florida in the last 40 minutes. And this, if you're a Rangers fan, you realize this is what we saw with Henrik Lundqvist for all those years. Just that Hank didn't have the same level of alleged offensive talent. That's the truth of it. The thing with it is the goalie can keep you alive in the game. A goalie cannot win you the game. He cannot do that. But all the credit in the world to Igor Shesterkin for keeping the Rangers in it. Tons of credit to Alexei Lafreniere, who has emerged as the best player during this series. Second period, he dances right through the Florida penalty kill, drills a shot off the crossbar, and then early in the third period, he scores the tying goal. And that goal gave me some hope, because that was the best play Adam Fox has made in 3 weeks. That spinning backhander to Lafreniere just housed right there by the side of the post, knocks it home, and the Rangers tie the score at 2-2 with 16:32 to go. Now, several penalties could have been called in the final 10 seconds on Florida. Zibanejad got interfered with. Kakko got tripped. Nothing got called. 1 minute in, Mika Zibanejad with a horrible giveaway. They call a necessary penalty on Blake Wheeler, who had to do what he had to do to get back in position to try to stop Alex Barkov. And as I said, Reinhardt scores, and that's the end of that game. So now it's a best of 3 going back to the Garden. And, you know, the big narrative over the last couple of days is, where are the Rangers stars? Where's Zibanejad? Where's Kreider? Where's Panarin in particular? Where are those 3 guys? To a lesser extent, Adam Fox. And look, this is the time of year I don't care who scores. I just care that they play well enough or put other players in a position to make impacts. Okay, from Artemi Panarin all the way to the bottom of the roster. All goals count the same, but at least Artemi Panarin has a couple of assists in the series. Zibanejad and Kreider don't even have a point in 4 games. And even I got to acknowledge at this point, that can't continue much longer if the Rangers are going to win this series. But here's one of the problems. Can we stop rotating the right wing every game? You had Filipino on the right side last game, in game 3 specifically, and I thought it looked pretty good. I thought it was okay at times. I thought it was worth keeping that together. Then they switched the lineup out to give Hedel a blow, coming back from his concussion. And who gets the push up to the first line? Jack Freakling Roslovic, who I don't need to see again. Mr. No Finish himself. He's curling up from Helsinki because he's got no finish in him. All right, he is brutal. I've said this again. He's fast. He can skate from blue line to blue line. Once he's in the offensive zone, he has no idea what the hell he's doing at all. They moved Capo Caco up to the first line during the 3rd period. That looked a little better. They nearly scored in regulation. Still no results. But here's what aggravates me the most as a Rangers fan. Matthew Tkachuk, and God, would I want him on the Rangers, he wears this mouthpiece that he likes to hang out of his mouth. It's in all these different directions. And at one point, Chris Kreider got a hold of the mouthpiece and just threw it up into the stands. And Tkachuk actually said to him, wow, that was the best play you've made all game. That's right. Matthew Tkachuk punked out Chris Kreider. How is Chris Kreider going to respond? Because right now he's being outplayed by a younger, better power forward. And the Rangers are now a scuffling team trying to find answers, constantly changing the lineup, doing whatever they can to compete with a bigger, more confident, more playoff-tested team based off the last couple of years. The Panthers look poised and confident, and that is about the worst thing that can happen to the Rangers. So, Game 5, MSG. It's going to be a very nervous Garden crowd. They'll be loud, but they're going to be nervous. What do these Rangers players really have left to give? I asked that question during the Carolina series. They answered the bell. I don't know what they have against this team. I'm not even nervous facing Game 5. I'm just dreading the feeling of doom. That's how I'm really feeling about the Rangers. Let's say a quick couple of hellos to the people in the chat. The great Jets Mess. My very first channel member is here. Just remember, it's about $5 a month. You get emojis. You get a mention at the end of every single video that I do as well. And every super chat you have, every time that you chat, I will acknowledge it. All right, we've got Harlan Abraham here as well. Hank G will be by a little bit later. Dano, definitely check out Dano's show. He does a great job. Check out Dane O for sure. Glad that he is here. And the other folks in the chat, glad you're here too. All right, let's go on to maybe the biggest disaster in all of sports right now, and that is the freaking New York Mets. As if the Rangers' disappointment wasn't frustrating enough, now you get to the opposite. Yesterday, doubleheader domination against the Dodgers. The Mets up until that point, so now they've lost 15 of their last 19 games. They're 22-33. I think the only teams with worse records in baseball are the Angels, the Rockies, the Marlins, and the White Sox. That is it. You look at yesterday, Tyler McGill, 7-inning gem against the Dodgers. This was on Tuesday. Then the pen blows up. Adam Ottavino, who had a great April, has been just that bad in May. Then you have the nightcap. Jose Quintana pitches well over 6, allows 3 runs, but the Mets get 3 hits all game. They couldn't even put a runner in scoring position against Gavin Stone and the Dodgers bullpen. And then today, the coup de grace today, Pete Alonso gets hit on the hand. He had to leave the game. X-rays appear to be negative, which is good news. But in the last 2 innings, they allow 7 runs and a 10-3 loss. And you got Jorge Lopez, this prick, this absolute prick who's done nothing in 2 years, at one point throws his glove into the stands, and afterwards he's got the balls to say he's on the worst team in MLB. Right now he might be right, but he's a big part of the problem, and his ass just got designated for assignment as it should be. I want to applaud David Stearns for getting an absolute stiff out of here. Not that Lopez was a horrible pitcher, but if you got that shit attitude, screw you. You don't belong on the New York Mets. You don't belong in Major League Baseball. Go screw yourself. I wonder how much that glove would be on eBay. Just on a side note. Can't help but wonder. That's right. Jets Mess throwing out all the symbols. The Jets, the wicker chair, Aaron Rodgers, and the wheel. Guys, remember, get those likes in on the chat. If we do 15 likes tonight, we will do the wheel. I haven't done the wheel in a little bit, but if you give me 15 likes on the stream tonight, we'll spin the wheel randomly at the end of the show tonight. But with the Mets, again, bad clutch hitting, bad defense, bad bullpen, pretty much no signs of life anymore. And this is a reason why I don't want to hear anybody calling for the manager to go. I don't want Carlos Mendoza fired at all. He's been here 2 months. He's honest. He's direct. I respect that about him. Okay? Because here's the thing. This core has been here for 5 years now. Now this is their 6th year. How many more managers are they going to get fired? This is the 4th man. Mickey Callaway, Luis Rojas, Buck Showalter, and now what? And now Carlos Mendoza. Eventually, it's the players. Give this manager a shot. I think he has the ability to be a good one. I really, really do. And here's the other thing. If you fire Mendoza, who's the manager you're going to bring in that's going to make this team great? What are we doing? Are we bringing Billy Martin or Casey Stengel back from the dead? Connie Mack, John McGraw, are you going to resurrect them? Is Terry Francona coming out of retirement? I don't think so. So it goes even deep. There's a black cloud hanging over Flushing, Queens right now. Kodai Senga, at this point, he may not even pitch the rest of the season. And the whole rotation and pitching staff have suffered as a result because he isn't there to eat up those innings. And the minors, it's frustrating too. Drew Gilbert's been out 6 weeks with a hamstring problem. Jet Williams may need wrist surgery. He's having a second cortisone injection in his wrist. At least Luis Angel Acuna is on a hot streak. But changes are needed to this organization, and they are needed before the July 30th trade deadline. 2 months from now, some changes have to be made. Francisco Lindor can't be traded with his contract. Brandon Nimmo is here. I like Francisco Alvarez. Outside of that, take anybody you want for the right cost. Anybody you want. Dano's got 15 accounts, so he's in luck. Good. I expect the numbers to be exploding any second now because of you, brother. Doing pretty well on the counts so far, but we need a few more. All right, but you know what? I don't want to make the whole 3 and out negative tonight. I don't want to do that. I want to make things just a little bit more lighthearted. So on that note, Angel Hernandez, the worst umpire of this generation, has officially retired. I say of recent history because we didn't have the technology and the replays that we had even 20 or 30 years ago. But replays have become more prevalent, and the automated strike zone has become more of a thing. Hernandez has found himself under a microscope, and his bad calls have been going viral. I mean, he ranked 67th out of 85 umpires in correct call rate this year. Last year, he was dead last. There have been several MLB players who said CC Sabathia, including CC Sabathia, who said Hernandez should not even have a job. And the timing of this, though, it's kind of weird because the New York Times, not that they're a reliable source, New York Slimes can kiss my backside. You know, that was published earlier this month, kind of telling his story, kind of portraying him in a positive light. But the news comes down just this week that he's done. It's very interesting timing, but let's just do a little something. Let's go ahead and take a moment to just enjoy the career of Angel Hernandez. I want to make sure that this is coming on the screen for everybody. I think I made this, let's make this full screen. Want to make sure this comes up. I'm just checking on the YouTube, make sure this blows up. And if it's ready, then we'll be good to go. Okay, I've got to change this up. All right, let me go back into StreamYard. There, okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, now let's go back to over here. and make that full. Okay. All right, here we go. This is about a 3-minute video. Guys, I give you Angel Hernandez.
2-2. You have got to be kidding me. What in the world? We've just completely lost it here.
This is just bad. 3 consecutive pitches well off the plate.
I'll make sure I get there this year.
3-2 pitch. Slow it in. Ball. Oh, they said he went around.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Here goes Harper.
He is out of this game. I'm going to tell you, naked eye, he did not swing at that. Dusty's going to stand in.
He did not go around. It wasn't even close.
Oh, my
That
goodness.
is just terrible.
Oh, my goodness.
3-2. Strike 3. And Gleyber Torres said he didn't ever look at me. The pitcher was supposed to engage with the hitter.
I think he also did something with his foot on the mound. It might have stuck, and then I think it kind of confused Gleyber Torres. I think that was more than. Let's watch his feet here. Then he stepped off, then stepped back.
Steps off, then steps back in.
He thought he stepped off, and he thought it was a dead pitch.
Anthony Recker.
Great call. At that time, the plate got a little wider, and Recker's been thrown out of the game.
In this kind of yes, Angel. Angel's got a quick fuse.
Recker complaining that
Angel, of course, will make eye contact.
All night made it a little wider, and he's getting himself in trouble now to take up the case.
I mean, look where his knees are. Look where the baseball winds up. Unbelievable.
And so we're going to the 12th, but without Anthony Recker, who's been ejected from the game. Here it comes. Called strike.
Oh, Schwarber. Here we go.
He's thrown out of the game, and he had zero issue with getting thrown out. Making it very clear. You've missed him inside, outside, up and down. Kyle Schwarber thrown out after being punched out by Angel Hernandez.
Mongo's home, Chicago.
Mongo. You gotta love Mongo.
And don't worry, I'll have some speaks with that home plate umpire after the game. Ooh.
Would you believe that after he led the fans in song, the umpire had McMichael ejected from the ballpark? So he wasn't there to see what happened in the last of the ninth with the game tied and the Cubs having runners on first and second, one out, and pinch hitter Joe Girardi up?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Angel Hernandez. You got to love it. You got to love it. All right. Let's get out of there. Wow. Angel Hernandez. But, it goes even deeper than missing the calls, guys. And I'll tell you why. Will Clark, great left-handed hitter mostly for the Giants, he actually told a story once of him buying beers for Angel Hernandez one night. He just got Hernandez completely drunk. And Clark seemed to notice for the rest of his career, when Angel Hernandez was behind the dish, his strike zone was just a little bit smaller. Made it a little bit easier for Mr. Clark to do his job. And Hernandez, of course, has sued Major League Baseball. He has accused the league of keeping down minority umpires, which I think has prevented more minorities from becoming crew chiefs. In March 2021, he lost a lawsuit against the MLB that alleged racial discrimination. And he said he'd been discriminated against because he had not been assigned to a World Series since 2005 and had not been made a crew chief. I can think of a few reasons why he didn't get those gigs. Because he stunk. So now the question is, what will Angel Hernandez do in his next life? Says he wants to be around there with his family. I wonder if he even notices his family coming in since he doesn't see very well. I got an idea for him, though. I think Angel Hernandez should be a professional wrestling referee. It's perfect, right? He's still basically in charge of the match or of the game, whatever you want to say. Referee's got to miss calls and play dead at times. He fit right in. Right in. So Triple H, Tony Khan, that's stooge. Yeah, call Angel Hernandez. I think he would fit in perfectly in your company. All right, well, that's it for 3 and Out. So I'll tell you what, guys, Let's get into it right now. Let's get into the main event. So everybody say it proud, say it loud, and let me hear you. Woo! Jets, Jets is right. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about what went on today in the news, but most of our show, we are going to talk about the different position groups that the Jets have, and we're going to look at some of the players just briefly, and we're going to grade them as an overall position group. Of course, we will be doing Jets trivia a little bit later on tonight. All right, and hopefully we'll be doing the wheel as well. So let's go ahead and add to the stage. There we go. Every Jets position group, and we're going to grade them. I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I think, and I'd be curious to see your thoughts. Actually, we'll get to Tarik Cohen. I was going to talk Tarik Cohen, but I'm going to do that when we get to the running backs. All right. So first of all, of course, we have quarterbacks. You've got Aaron Rodgers, you've got Tyrod Taylor, and you've got Jordan Travis. And this is the deepest quarterback room they have had in years, maybe ever. And that is pretty amazing considering just last season we had Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, and Trevor Siemian, after week 1. And now look, you've got the best starter that this franchise has ever had. I think you can very easily make that case. All right. Long as he's protected, he will probably rewrite the Jets single season record book. They've got the most legitimate backup that they've had in at least a decade, maybe the last 2 decades when Chad Pennington and Vinny Testaverde were here at the same time. At one point, the Jets had Geno Smith and Ryan Fitzpatrick. If you want to say Geno was on that level, then, you could do that. But I think it's the best backup quarterback they've had in 20 years. And then with Jordan Travis, you've got a very intriguing rookie. He may start the year on the PUP list. We don't know yet, but he has been doing some practicing. It looks like he may actually be ready to go. And I figured early on the Jets would just start him on the PUP list to have the extra roster spot, but who knows what's going to happen there. But I think this is a really, really good quarterback room. You've got the best quarterback you could possibly have about as good a quarterback as you can have right now, a very capable backup, and somebody you could develop for the future. I'm going with a grade of A- for the quarterback room. Just got to keep Rodgers healthy. If it wasn't coming off the injury, I'd probably go with a solid A. So that's how I'm feeling about the quarterbacks. Now with the running backs, I listed 5 here: Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, Israel Abanikanda, and the newest Jet, Tarik Cohen. Now Cohen, let's talk about him for a moment. So he's 28 years old, 5'6", 191 pounds. He missed all of 2021 with a knee injury, and then while rehabbing the knee injury, he actually tore his Achilles. Okay, so he has had some very, very serious injuries, but in 2017 and 18, he was excellent. So he was that all-purpose threat for the Bears, but in 2018, he was amazing. He was a Pro Bowl player, an all-pro player as a punt returner. He could also return kicks very well, had 79 catches out of the backfield. So a very good receiving running back as well. And he can run the ball a little bit for you if you need him to. He was still solid in 2019, but after that is when he started to get hurt. And going back to the beginning of the 2020 season, in 2020, Cohen played 3 games, and he has not played a game since. So he has not seen an NFL field in 3 years. And, the signing doesn't do a lot for me. It's a body to bring in, but it's a chance we're taking. It's no risk. I can't imagine there'll be much, if any, guaranteed money here. He'll probably get maybe the league minimum if he makes the 53-man roster. And I think with the new kickoff setup, what you really want to do is bring in some bodies. You want another option on special teams, because if we look at the Jets return game right now, what are we looking at? Malachi Corley, Xavier Gibson. You've got some unknowns. At least in Cohen, you have somebody who has been very, very good in the past. What is he right now? We don't know. I am a little concerned the fact that Carolina, who may have the worst roster in the entire NFL, did release him just May 10th. So 19 days ago, as of when I'm doing this recording. So now he's attempting his comeback with the Jets. If he's healthy, yeah, I think he might have an outside chance. But yeah, my hopes for him are not overly high considering he was just cut by Carolina of all teams. Hey, Nate, good to see you. I am glad that you are here. I hope I enjoyed your interview with Rivka. Man, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Yeah, I had a great time with her. We had, I thought, a very good conversation. Check that out at the Talking Jets YouTube page. But yeah, it was actually the first time we had an actual voice conversation. And yes, I definitely enjoyed it. Yeah, for sure. Definitely check her out at the Jets X Factor and at the Talking Jets YouTube page. Dano, his passion to return to the game is admirable, referring, of course, to Tarik Cohen. And I like him being in the locker room along with Stiggers. Yeah, the more players you can have like that, the better. Now, the Jets have had some players with, these tough histories in the past. I think of Derek Strait. If you remember him, drafted in 2004 from Oklahoma. He'd been homeless at one point, but he was drafted, I think it was Vilma and Kotchery. The third pick that the Jets had in that draft was Derek Strait, and he'd been homeless. It just didn't work out quite so well for him in the NFL. But yeah, I definitely like the idea of Stiggers. I'm a big fan of his as well. I think I heard something. Yeah, Cohen also lost his family. I think I may have heard that once. I don't know all the details of it, but okay, so that's even more adversity he's had to overcome in his life then. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with that particular story. Stiggers and Cohen are the two players I'll have my binoculars on at camp. That's a pretty good place to be looking at. Also, I definitely have to throw in Braylon Allen as well. I love him for sure. And hey, watch Zach Kuntz too. I want my Kuntz updates. Let's see what winds up happening. Yeah, it's good. There's a lot of very good stories in Jets camp. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And then on the defensive line, we'll get to those guys a little bit later, other guys to keep your eye on. But as we look at this running back room, it's very, very young. I mean, Cohen is the oldest player in this group at 28 years old. I think most of us expected a veteran to come into the picture at some point. It did not happen. Joe Douglas opts to go younger after the disastrous signing that was Dalvin Cook. You know what? Why not go a different direction? I can't say that I hate it. And we know Breece Hall is a top 5 running back in the game, and I'm probably being conservative when I say that. And with a better offensive line that loves to pull and loves to maul people and a great quarterback, he's only getting better. He's only getting better. And then you have two youngsters. I'm a big Braylon Allen fan. I talked about this with Nick and Jeremy just a few minutes ago on that channel. I guess I was a little bit worried with Allen, the fact that he is only 20 years old. A tad worried that he might need a little time to acclimate himself to the pro game. But, from what we heard in practice today, he was looking very, very good. But I thought maybe they took Davis as more of a surefire thing, somebody who would be ready to just step right in and be that number 2 running back. So I think they're going to be fighting over that spot. I don't know if Izzy makes the roster. He'll have his opportunities to show what he could do, but he has to show that he can protect, that he can catch the ball out of the backfield. You got to be more than fast in the NFL. Straight line speed can only go so far at the end of the day. So, and Tarik Cohen also saw some reps on offense as well. So we got to see a little bit of what he could do. And sounds like he did make some pretty positive plays. So I think this is a very, very good running back room. A few question marks because you just don't really know what the ceiling is. But I'm going to go B+ for the running back room. All right. Just a couple of other. Yeah, let's check the chat right here. Yep. Dane is exactly right. Normalized staring at Kuntz through binoculars. I see. Nate, that's a good one. Braylon Allen's ceiling is Arian Foster. Yeah, Arian Foster, that's one of those running backs that doesn't really get thought of. When you think of the best running backs of a generation, Foster was great for a little while for Houston, but nobody really talks about him anymore. Maybe it's because his teams never really went all that far in the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, if that's what he turns into, or like a Priest Holmes, that kind of guy, oh my God. That's about as good a 1-2 running back punch as you could ever want. It really is. Okay, let's go on to the wide receiver room. Now here, I listed 7: Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, Alan Lazard, Malachi Corley, Jason Brownlee, Xavier Gibson, and Irv Charles. Now, it's added some depth for sure with the additions of Williams and Corley. Last year, it was painful. It was Garrett Wilson and nothing. Okay, so I love the additions of both Corley and Williams. Those were 2 players that I wanted the Jets to go get, or 2 of the players I thought would make a lot of sense for them. Williams is going to add the size and contested catch ability. His hands are all but automatic. Mike Williams does not drop passes. Nate with a question. How many wide receivers usually make the roster? I think 7 is a pretty good number. I would say 6, maybe 6 to 7. I think that's pretty typical. So that's what I would go there. But I feel like nowadays in the NFL, you almost combine the wide receiver and the tight end rooms together. And how many total receivers do you have? I think that's something to look at as well. But to me, this is about what I'm expecting the roster to look like as far as the receiver room goes. So Corley will give you the speed, the body control, and the toughness. He is very tough to tackle. We know about him being nicknamed the Yak King. Got 8.6 yards after the catch per reception. That ranked 16th in college football last year. We just have to hope he's okay after leaving practice a little bit early today after getting, it looks like some kind of a lower body injury. Now, as far as Lazard goes, yeah, today was a terrible day for him. But I still expect him on the roster because the Jets are going to be paying him $10 million anyway. And I got to see a couple of these young receivers actually outplay him. That's got to happen. I'm still willing to give Lazard the slightest chance just because he's playing with Aaron Rodgers. Again, I personally hope one of these wide receivers or 2 of these wide receivers can jump him, particularly the players on the right side, Brownlee, Gibson, and Charles. We've seen Brownlee turn heads in practice, but we got to see it in games. And Gibson and Charles, to me, are both special teams players until they prove otherwise. So overall, with this room, I'm going to give them a grade of B. Because I think the 1, 2, and 3, Wilson, Williams, Corley, love it. After that, it's a little bit scary. All right. Dano says he's thinking 6 receivers, depends along with offensive line, defensive line, cornerback, the bigger groupings. Yeah, I think I'm pretty confident that what cornerback is going to look like. But somewhere you got to take a piece out. Yeah, someplace. Yeah, it's a true. I'm just thinking in my head real quick. So if you have 3 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 7 receivers, that's 14. Then say 4 tight ends. And then maybe 7 offensive linemen. Yeah, you'll need 8 offensive. You have to make a cut somewhere because you really can only go with. And I didn't include everybody I thought was on the roster. I could see one of these players that are on the screen getting cut. Obviously, the Jets are not keeping 5 running backs, but I'm trying to look at the overall picture. And really, I think it's going to be 25. 25 offense, 25 defense, and then you have your 3 special teams players: your kicker, your punter, and your long snapper. So, but I'm just trying to go maybe 1 player deeper, and then we'll see what winds up happening. But I could see 6 receivers making the roster. I don't think that's impossible. And I think if anybody's in jeopardy, it's probably Gibson. And then, yeah, maybe you could bring Gibson back to the practice squad, as Nate referred to. But I think the 4 on the left are locks. I really do. I think Charles is very likely to make it as well. He's kind of taken Justin Hardy's job as the gunner on special teams. I think it's Brownlee or Gibson, and right now I give the edge to Brownlee. That's my thought right now on where things are. The great Johnny Jimenez, my man, holding down the fort up there in Virginia, down in the Chesapeake area, the Chesapeake-Portsmouth area, I believe. So, Johnny, I hope you and the family are doing great, and I hope it was a good Memorial Day for you and for everybody in the chat. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Okay, tight end, that's a big one. You got 4 really to look at in Tyler Conklin, Jeremy Rucker, Kenny Yeboah, and Zach Coots. This is a very solid but not spectacular group. Conklin did not catch a single touchdown pass all year, but he's very good at stretching the field, and I think Rodgers is going to love throwing to him. Now, Jeremy Rucker, to me, has to do something this year. It's year 3 for him. He is now in a legitimate spot to succeed with Rodgers at quarterback. Plus, think about this. He had to sit back and block a lot last year because you couldn't trust the offensive line. This year, you have a much better offensive line, so maybe this gives Rucker a little more freedom to run passing routes and catch more passes than he has before. All right, so I think by upgrading the offensive line, this could allow Jeremy Rucker to emerge. Just a thought that I've had. And another thing with that, Kenny Yeboah, even though he's a special teams player, maybe he can be more. Aaron Rodgers completed some passes to him in practice today, so maybe Yeboah can be a little bit more. And Kuntz, of course, is that wild card. We know he's a great athlete, but can he play football? Got to be fair. I know. ODU, go Monarchs. I'm with you. But, can he play tight end? That's the thing, So that to me is one of those players you got to really, really watch, because if he doesn't make significant progress, I think Kuntz is in danger of not making the 53. Hopefully they would keep him on the practice squad. Because we got to see a little bit from him this year. Then we go to the offensive line. I'm going to separate. The tight ends, I gave them a grade of B-. Good, like a little better than average, but they still got a lot to prove. So I think B- is a pretty fair grade. Yeah, Harlan. Yep, even mentioned it today. Rodgers threw some passes to him, and in college he was doing that when he was playing with I think with Elijah Moore back at Ole Miss, right? Yeah, he can do it, but he usually doesn't get a lot of chances. I think he could be a useful tight end, but is he going to be the difference maker? I don't know. And besides, who's he taking the snaps away from? Conklin or Ruckert? If heaven forbid there's an injury in that spot, would I feel okay with Yeboah having that opportunity? Yeah, I feel good. I feel okay with it. So let's see what happens. Now we go to the offensive tackle position, and you really have 4 that I think are going to make it in Smith, Moses, Fashanu, and Warren. Yeah, Max Mitchell is still hanging around. I don't think he makes it. Now, again, what a difference a year makes. Think of where were we last year, guys? Dwayne Brown, Mekhi Becton, Billy Turner, for heaven's sakes. Now look what you've done. Max Mitchell had a more prominent role, for heaven's sakes, right? But now you've added 2 excellent, respected veterans to a team that really has a 2 to 3 year window to win a Super Bowl. It makes sense. I know they're under 1-year contracts, but this makes sense. Plus, you drafted the number 11 pick who will step in next year, God willing, and be the starter. And remember, his senior year, Fashanu allowed no sacks, no quarterback hits, and 10 hurries over 382 pass block snaps. He had a 2.6% pressure rate, tied for 12th among all tackles, and obviously a 0% sack rate. Well, that tied for first. Run blocking maybe could use a little bit of improvement, but I don't think he's going to have too much trouble figuring that out. And number 4 in line, you've got a solid young tackle, still has some work to do, is pretty raw, but can learn from Smith and Moses as well. In fact, Warren played for Moses today because Moses is still working his way back from pec surgery. So Warren's going to get more opportunities this year, and if he's your number 4 tackle, I can roll with that. Nate also mentioned giving a little love to Kenny Yeboah. He will be the Michael Jordan of Chris Herndon's. I got to let that one marinate in my mind for a moment, Nate, but okay, I think I get the vibe of it. All right. Swig of water for the working man and woman. All right. So for the offensive tackle grade, I got to tell you, I like it. I like it a lot. I'm going to give it a grade of A-. You just got to hope Tyron Smith stays healthy. And we'll see what Fashanu is. But I like what the Jets have at tackle as much as I have in a long, long time. Interior offensive line. Right now, you've really got 4 guys. Now, I don't see the Jets breaking camp with 8 offensive line total. I think 1 more will be added on. I'm still thinking Connor McGovern gets signed. If not, you could see a Brady Latham, maybe Chris Glazer, Jake Hansen, somebody like that. Might take the spot, but I still think the Jets might sign a veteran after the June 1st cuts. Okay, so John Simpson, Joe Timmon, and Elijah Vera Tucker are your starters, and Wes Schweitzer is kind of your all-around backup. Yeah, he could. Yep, Nate, the answer to your question is yes. Schweitzer can slide in at center if you need him to. It's not his best position, but he can do the job if it absolutely comes to that. Now, AVT to me is a top 5 guard in the sport when healthy. We've seen what the Jets running game looks like when he's in and what it looks like when he's out. John Simpson, I really like him as he's been very engaging on Twitter. He's very, how do I say this? He's not only engaging, but he's very honest. He tells you what's on his mind. He doesn't give canned answers in interviews. He's just like, let's go. He's kind of carefree, but super tough as well. And I think the Jets could use some tough, durable players because for too long they haven't had durability on this offensive line. And I think that's why that was the first offensive lineman the Jets signed in free agency. In fact, one of the very first free agents they signed, I believe, was Simpson. Might have been the first one, as a matter of fact. Nate, with a question, do we have an emergency center? Yeah, it's pretty much Schweitzer. I have nightmares about nearly losing Tommy DeVito. Handoffs possibly if Xavier Newman didn't figure out how to snap the ball. Oh, that's right, because DeVito couldn't. Yeah, the handoffs were a nightmare. Yeah, I am not a Newman. Yeah, I did not like what I saw from Newman at all. Chris Glazer, I think, would be the center. Yeah, I think Glazer is a little bit more of a natural center. So if he plays well, if he emerges, yeah, I think there's a spot for Glazer. So I think that would be your primary backup at center if he can make it. But Jake Hansen, I thought, played pretty well also last year for a backup for his role. So maybe Hansen and Glazer fight for a spot. We'll have to see what winds up happening there. But if the Jets don't like what they see, yeah, I think McGovern is where you go. All right. So again, I don't think the Jets are quite done adding to that room. All right, so for interior offensive line, right now I think you have a very good starting role, but I would like to see a little bit more depth. I'm going to go B+ because I like the starters very much, and I think Vera Tucker is an elite player, but the depth has a little something to be desired. Yeah, Nate, yeah, I mentioned Brady Latham a moment ago as well. Yeah, he might have a chance as well. I don't know if he could play center. I think he's a more of a guard. But we'll have to see what kind of role he winds up with. But you know what? You have some intriguing prospects who could possibly jump in and take a spot on the offensive line. And I'm definitely good with that idea. All right, so that is it for the offensive side of the football. Those are my grades. So just to give you a quick recap, we went quarterback A-, running back B+, wide receiver B, tight end B-, offensive tackle A-, and interior offensive line, we went B+. So I gave quarterback and tackle the highest grade. And you know what? That's something to be happy about, Jet fans, because probably the two biggest positions on offense are where we have the highest grades. The Jets have been going out and getting elite players who played the elite positions. And for how long? When was the last time we could say that? It's been a long, long time, guys. And that's another reason to be really excited about this team. All right, let's go ahead and flip the script. Let's go over to defense. Now, I'm going to isolate defensive tackles from edge rushers. I'm starting with 5 defensive tackles in Quinnen Williams, Javon Kinlaw, Solomon Thomas, Leki Fotu, and Leonard Taylor. This is sort of like the wide receiver room last year in my mind. I just said a moment ago that the wide receiver room last year was Garrett Wilson and then nothing. To me, this is not all that far off. This is all about number 95. You know, his run defense is as good as any in the game. He was the number 1 rated defensive tackle last year against running attacks, and his pass rush pressure rate was second in the league, only to Chris Jones of the Kansas City Chiefs. Not bad company. But after that, watch out. These other guys have their strengths and weaknesses, but how much confidence do you have? Because you got to remember, Quinnen Williams, the way they rotate this defensive line, is playing at most 70% of the snaps. No more than that, guys. They'd have him around 60 to 65 if they had it their way. So those 30% of the snaps roughly, when Quinnen is not on the field, what are we talking about here? Javon Kinlaw has been a big underachiever in San Francisco, but you know what? Solomon Thomas was the same thing. The Jets brought him in, and last year he was pretty good. He was an adequate player, you know, especially once guys like Quentin Jefferson and Al Woods started to get hurt. Leki Fotu is kind of the replacement for Al Woods, so he'll be in on those running situations. Let's see what he does. Leonard Taylor is more of a pass-rushing defensive tackle, and I think the Jets are the best place he could have possibly been, where he's in a rotational situation. The Jets know how to use defensive linemen in the right spots and then make the best of them. It's a situation where you're really counting on Aaron White-Cotton and Jeff Ulbrich to do a great job coaching, all right? Because as much as we love Quinnen, what's going to happen when he's not on the field? You know, will Kinlaw, Thomas, Fotu, and Taylor be able to carry the load? Or are teams, when Quinnen's on the field, are they going to say, let's just run right up the middle and make them stop us? It's something to really think about. That might be a spot where you move like a Chuck Clark up a little bit to help defend the run because he's a very, very good tackler. You move a safety up. Jets might have to get a little bit creative with stopping the run. All right, so that's my biggest concern, which is why I think it's very important Jets get leads early in games and help force the opponent to have to throw the ball, if that makes sense. All right, so for my overall grade here, I'm going with a B for the simple reason Quinnen Williams is there. If it wasn't for him, this would be about a C-, maybe even a D. So Quinnen raises the bar for me that high. And after that, that's pretty much it. Maybe the grade of B is a little bit too nice, but Quinnen is that good. Quinnen is that elite. All right, on to the edge rushers. I got Hassan Reddick, Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald, Michael Clemens, and Braden McGregor. So Reddick last year had 11 sacks, 23 quarterback hits, 67 pressures, and 13 tackles for a loss. He's also an upgrade over Bryce Huff on the run defense. Reddick had 24 run stops to Bryce Huff's 16. Jermaine Johnson could do everything. Pass rush, stop the run, as one of the best two-way defensive ends in the NFL. It was so cool watching him take the step up from year 1 to year 2. What could he possibly do in year 3? Will McDonald looks primed to take a step up, had 12 pressures and 4 sacks last year in limited time. Looked pretty good in practice today. He did well against Carter Warren, tried a spin move against Tyron Smith. Didn't exactly work, but then again, Tyron Smith is as good a pass-blocking offensive tackle as there is in the NFL. And quite honestly, if McDonald had gotten around Smith, if they had beaten him repeatedly, I'd be a little bit more worried. Because I think the Jets, we need Tyron Smith to be, we need him to be as healthy and as effective as possible. All right, Michael Clemens, you got to be a little queasy about him, but his intention should be to take the John Franklin Myers role, play a little run, play a little pass as well. That's my hope for him. I hope he is able to lose a little bit of weight and we can see the Michael Clemens that we saw in year 1. Because last year, the coaching staff wanted him to put on some weight so he could play the run a little bit more, and he lost some of the speed, lost his effectiveness, and was just not that good of a player. But I really hope he's motivated to come back and to be as effective as he can be, because let's be honest, he's been getting called out by Deion Dawkins amongst others. So Clemens has something to prove. It's a big year for him. And Braden McGregor, the undrafted free agent from Michigan, he might be that UDFA who might make the 53-man roster. Very, very capable player. And, I really like this room a lot. I'm giving them a grade of A- at this point. But if you wanted to make it an A, you could definitely make that case. Just got to see what McDonald can do. He's got to take a step up. And, as much as the Jets will be rotating their edge rushers, you got to look 1 through 4, not just 1 and 2. So that's why I did what I did. That's why I gave them just an A- instead of giving them a full grade of A. All right, guys, quick reminder, please hit the like button if you haven't already. Appreciate everybody's support. Let's go on to linebacker. I put 5 on this one. C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams, Jamian Sherwood, Zaire Barnes, and Chaz Surratt. Now, PFF graded Mosley and Williams first and second among linebackers in coverage grade. Mosley got a 90.6, and Williams got an 88.7. Oh, you know what? Eric Watts. Yeah, they've been talking about Eric Watts. We're going to talk about Watts, I think, on a future episode. Yeah, he's been getting a little bit more credit as of late. I think the thing with what was the deal? I think I put some notes down about Watts and what he was doing. I know he's been getting some attention. I've been seeing David White Upton posted about him a little bit. Yeah, I think I had some notes scribbled down about him, but I'll have to access those next week. Yeah, but Eric Watts, that's another one to consider as well. Hey, it might be him and McGregor competing for one roster spot. It could happen. How many linebackers did we have on the roster last year? Maybe 4. I think we had 5. Yeah, Mosley, Williams, Sherwood, Barnes. That's basically what we had last year, right? I think Barnes missed a little bit of time, but Surratt was there. He played a lot of special teams. The thing, Williams and Mosley complement each other perfectly, because you got Mosley, you got the sure tackler, but then you got Williams to make the flashy plays. But after that, you pretty much have depth. It's an okay unit after Mosley and Williams, but I thought actually for a minute about maybe having just 4 linebackers, because you got to take some depth from somewhere to make another position deep, especially if you want to have, say, a 9th defensive lineman, because we know the Jets are going to have 9 to 10 defensive linemen, probably 10. Most likely it's going to be 10. If you're going to do that, you might need to take away from linebacker. So maybe Sherwood, Barnes, and Surratt are competing for 2 spots. But, Sorokin plays special teams very well. Sherwood did not get a lot of time last year, and Barnes really didn't either. So I think Sherwood kind of has his ceiling, doesn't have the highest ceiling in the world. Barnes might have a little bit more because he's a little bit faster. Yeah, it's a backup battle, but it'll be interesting to see what the Jets choose to do at the linebacker position. All right, so for there, I'm going with the grade of B+, just because Mosley and Williams are so good. So B+ for the linebackers. Then we get to the cornerbacks. I mean, how much time do I really need to spend on this? Actually, I think I'm going to spend a good amount of time on this because I want to crow about our team's cornerbacks. Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, Michael Carter II, Brandon Eccles, and Quantez Stiggers. So Sauce last year had the second best PFF coverage grade among cornerbacks, ranked first among all corners when it came to preventing separation on routes ran. Sauce allowed the second fewest yards per cover snap, 0.44, while finishing third in forced incompletion rate, fourth in first downs allowed. He is about as good an all-around cornerback as you will find. DJ Reed, excellent cornerback too. And you know what? Right now, the Jets defense talking a little bit about allowing Sauce to travel with the opposing team's top receiver. If that's the case, that might work better for DJ Reed because we did see him get victimized a little bit last year against Miami. And then Michael Carter, as good a second cornerback in the slot as you'll find. Almost any stat you look at, passes defended, separation rate, Carter is pretty much as good as it gets. Not Teron Johnson, not Kenny Moore. It's MC2, and that's the player that I want to see the Jets give $10, $11 million a year to. Free agent after this season, that to me is going to be maybe the priority signing to make. All right, so Brandon Eccles, I think, is a very good outside cornerback. Harlan says Eccles may be the odd man out. You know what? If Stiggers is that good, you could do that. But to me, I don't know. I think the Jets would have 6 corners, but we'll talk about Isaiah Oliver. He's kind of playing all over the field right now. I know that Ulbrich said they're moving Oliver to safety, but Oliver can still play just about anywhere in the secondary that you want him to. If Stiggers does emerge that much in training camp, I don't know if he will, but if he does, that could push Eccles down the depth chart. But regardless, I misspelled Eccles' name. My bad. But regardless, Eccles, I think, will be off the team in 12 months. Not because he isn't good, but, you can't keep everybody forever. Eventually, you got to give a second contract to. Okay, so, and Stiggers, from what I heard, he was covering Lazard quite a bit today, so he did very well. That's encouraging, but now we got to see Stiggers actually cover an NFL cornerback. See what I mean? Okay. I got to do one quick thing here. Yeah, but as far as the grade goes, I mean, come on. What else could the grade be? The grade is very simple. Not just an A, it's an A+. Hank G, good to see you, my buddy. Yeah, you have not missed trivia yet. We're getting to trivia in a little bit. The great Nick Shine just had me on his Wednesday night show along with Jeremy. We had a great time. Nick, I will reach out to you in just a moment. All right. So it was nice having like Bryce Hall for a little while. But I'm very, very happy to have Stiggers in the fold here. So it was a player I wanted weeks before the draft. A lot of teams wanted him. Jets got him. Love it. All right, and then we go to safeties. So this is sort of the tight end of defense position. And right now, you're just throwing a whole lot of stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So I think the safeties are going to look better than they actually are because the corners and the pass rushers are so good. But the tackling will be improved by replacing Jordan Whitehead with Chuck Clark. Tony Adams, I expect him to step up even more. We've seen that he can make big plays when needed. Isaiah Oliver looks like the jack of all trades, the Swiss Army knife. He can play outside corner, slot corner, safety. You've got Ashton Davis, somebody the Jets really had to bring back in, not just for special teams, but he has also shown when he plays defensive snaps, he can pick a ball off. And I will tell you this about Ashton Davis. He gets his hands on the football. He doesn't drop it. And I can't say that about everybody in the secondary. Jarek Bernard Converse, what has he got? What kind of step will he make? Kind of like a Zaire Barnes. Jalen Key, Mr. Irrelevant, you know what? I don't know. Just because you were drafted, I don't think that's going to give you the edge on an undrafted free agent. All right? So when you're drafted 257, you still got to earn your spot. All right. So as far as the safeties go, I'm going to give them a grade of C+, right around average, maybe a touch above average because there's a little bit of depth there, but I really can't go any higher than that. So to recap the defense grades, at interior defensive line, I went B, edge, I went A-, linebacker B+, cornerback A+, safety C+. So that's where we are there. And you know, if you guys know me, you know that there's a few things in life that I love. A good slice of pizza, a good steak, a good song, a nice cold beer. But one of my favorite things of all is special teams. Of course, I gotta give a quick mention to special teams. I'll leave his Thomas Hennessy to the side, our long snapper. But I figured I would just give a quick grade over to Greg Zuerlein and Thomas Morstead. Hey, Bobby, good to see you. I understand Bobby Woodruff's got a channel, from the Jake Asman show. Always has a very, very entertaining call-in. There's nobody quite like Bobby. All right. Well, Greg Zuerlein finished 5th last year in field goals made. He was 10th in field goal percentage. He made 92% of his kicks, 35 out of 38. Very, very good. Nate, I did mention Thomas Hennessy, but I don't know of too many stats for long snappers, I don't know. It's just that, he's been there a long, long time. But, yes, I was definitely going to mention him. But Zuerlein had his highest field goal percentage in years. He had a fantastic year. I'm glad he got the 2 years that he did. And as far as Thomas Morstead goes, well, nobody punted more times than Morstead did in 2023. Thomas Morstead punted 99 times in the 2023 season. How about that? 99 total. He was 11th in yards per punt at 48.8, 16th in net yards per punt. And then he was 18th in putting punts inside the 20-yard line. So if you look at inside the 20 percentile, he was 18th. Harlan Abraham, yes, it's Thomas Hennessy. You know what? Let's do this. I don't have him on the slides, but I'm going to do the next best thing. I'm not drinking Hennessy. That's somebody else's gimmick. I'm just going to put Thomas Hennessy's name right there in the chat. There we go. Thomas Hennessy, God bless you, sir. We love you. I'm getting the jersey next week. And also with Morstead, he kicked touchbacks 90% of the time. Oh, Zuerlein kicked touchdowns 90% of the time, second only to Brandon Aubrey in Dallas. That's going to be a little bit harder to do this year because of the rules that the touchbacks are coming out a little further. So Zuerlein's goal this year should be to put the ball in between the 10 and the goal line. The goal is not just to kick it as far and as high as you can. All right. So as far as that goes, I'm giving them a B+. When you look at where they are ranked overall, it's solid to towards the top of the league. That's really where it is. I just love Morstead for standing up for the Jets. For standing up when people take shots at him. Morstead is always pretty quick to defend the team and the franchise, and I really, really appreciate it. Roger F., I'm having trouble finding this on my YouTube TV. Well, I know I'm not on YouTube TV. I'm not sure about that. It's just the channel. I don't know. But, Roger, if you can give me a little more detail, I can certainly try to help you. But, need a little bit more help there. Nate, shout out to Thomas Hennessy. All right. Hey, I'll go back to the previous chat. Not sure if I was transported to the Nick new friend group or if I should look for my eyeglasses. All right, sir. All right. There. It's a little bit bigger now. A little bit bigger. But it's one of those things setting up the Google slides. It looks bigger in the moment, but then when you put it on the screen, it can look a little smaller. So, all right. I'll try to make a little bit bigger fonts next time. All right. Thanks for the feedback, Raj. I do appreciate it. Seriously. I do. Otherwise, can't make it better. Okay. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. It is now 11 o'clock. We are getting near the witching hour. So you know what time of the week this is. Every single week, I bust open the books. I go through the websites. and I do my research, and I challenge you, the most loyal fans of the most loyal fan base in the NFL. How well do you know your New York Jets? So if you are ready, let's play Jets Trivia. All right, guys, it is trivia time. Always one of our highlights. Hank G knows what's up, as everybody's getting all German on us today. I took a little Spanish in high school and a touch in college, but yeah, don't know too German. As long as I could say bratwurst, I think I'm pretty good. But I don't have too much more than that down. All right. Let's just take a quick look here at the chat. Let's see how we're doing with like. Looks like we're at, I'm going to close out, open it back up just to see quite where we are with the likes count. Looks like we're at 13 likes, guys. All right. So we'll do the wheel tonight, but I got to get 2 more likes. So hit that thumbs up and let's help get the word out about the video. Thank you very much for that. All right, guys. So here are the trivia rules. Going to be the same as every week. Try to go, I try to present what I would call a reasonably challenging Jets trivia question. So I'm going to put the question on the screen, and I am then going to give you 5 minutes to get the question. So your question is this: name the only Jets first-round pick who was drafted from the University of Missouri. All right, and your time is underway. Thanks, Raj. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. Yeah, and we're still pulling out quite a bit of content lately about the Rangers in particular. So if you're a Rangers fan, putting out quite a bit of stuff about that game and the series, their run to the playoffs. The Mets are almost too depressing to talk about. And we did quite a bit of Knicks as well. But, we've done a little bit of everything. We even did a little World Cup soccer way back when. We did some pro wrestling too. And guys, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm pretty sure that this guy is already going to know the trivia answer. So I'm going to bring Nick on in just 1 second here. But I will say, let's see. There we go. All right. First round pick, Brad Smith. Yeah, he knows he was just kidding. Right. All right. So let's bring on the great Nick Shine. Nick, here you come in 3, 2, 1. How you doing, sir?
I said his name earlier on my show. That's a hint for everybody.
Exactly. That's how I knew you would know it. Let me see if I can give us a little bit better layout here. Oh, that's interesting. We're covering up the logo. And there we go. We just disappeared. Yeah, that's not going to work. All right, we'll just go back to that one. All right. Okay, Dano, was it Bobby Woodruff? Bobby was a second-round pick out of Long Beach State, I believe. I think Bobby was a Long Beach State guy. All right, Roger, my aunt used to date Ron Greschner and didn't like him and pushed her best friend forever, Carol Alt, on him. They married. Yeah, they were married for a little while. Wow, that is quite the story.
Yeah.
Man, Roger, your aunt must have been pretty good if she had to push Carol Alt. That's so did Ron Greschner opt for your aunt first before Carol Alt? Carol Alt was like one of the first supermodels of all time. Wow.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yep, there we go. Yep, Bobby went with Cody Schrader. Yeah, I don't think Schrader was even drafted. Was Schrader even drafted from Missouri? I know we had talked about it, but I think he was a UDFA. Yep, Nate has it. Yep, it is Sheldon Richardson. That is correct. So guess what I'm going to play for you right now, Nate? I love the Japanese game show Victory Sounds. So, yeah.
So my favorite game show of all time.
Go ahead.
My favorite game show of all time is the original Ninja Warrior.
Oh,
where they did it in Japan, and they all showed up to do the contest in their work uniform. So if you were a mailman, you showed up in your mailman outfit. If you were a nurse, you showed up dressed as a nurse. You showed up. If you were a chef, you showed up in like, it's great. And then the American voices dubbing it over, it still stands the test of time. It would get cancel culture now because it was too.
Oh, no question about it. No question about it. Yeah, I thought Sheldon Richardson was going to be what Quinn is now. Yeah, a lot of us had a whole lot of confidence in him. He got off to a very good start, but made some mistakes, and it's hard to say for sure why his play slipped, but it did. And he just sort of drifted around the league, went to Minnesota, to Cleveland, to Seattle. There might have been another team in there along the way, but yeah, he just became another guy, and it felt like he could have been quite a bit more. But that's not a pick I can blame on the general manager. It's just it's more on the player. But yeah, maybe leaving the Jets just did something to him because who knows? Who knows?
That's funny that I referenced him on the show earlier.
You did.
And that was the trivia answer. When I joined the studio, I saw the question. I was like, did he make this question up because I said it? That's how you know we're meant to be friends.
Yeah, it is true. I actually had that one completely ready to go. Decided on it earlier this morning, and boom, there we go. So,
awesome. Was that your first question?
Yeah, that was the only one I asked tonight. Yeah, we did the trivia right at 11. So I spent 20 minutes pretty much just on the 3 and out, and I had a lot to say about a lot of things for sure. So it was a lot on my mind.
All
right. Bobby, I think we're gonna do the wheel tonight. I don't think we're gonna do the call in. I got to figure out the whole thing with the schedule because I got to be up like 6:30 every morning now to go to work. So it's a little bit difficult to go really, really late. Maybe during the season, something happens, we'll go. As I didn't hit the timer, so I just killed the timer.
Oh, it sounded like you were getting a call in.
Yep. So that's just a very bad timer sound on my cell phone. So, but at some point we'll do a little bit more, but we got to figure out the schedule in a reasonable time because once I start taking call-ins, I know I'll be on till 12:30 in the morning. There's no doubt about it. But I'll tell you what, you're here, Nick, and we got a very nice turnout. We have the folks who were hanging out with you and Jeremy, and they have come over, and I've got my regulars here as well, and we are just one big crazy Jets family. So let's do something kind of crazy right now. What do you say?
Oh, gee, what do you have that's crazy? Tell me.
And the wheel spins round. How's that sound?
Well, the only obvious follow-up question, my good friend, is which wheel?
You know what? I think we got to do. I'll tell you what. I haven't. I'm going to go hit the share. I got to pull it up on the. Give me 1 second. We got to pull it up on the other page. All right. So we've got our 100 players. We've got our. Well, we had the draft choice. That doesn't apply anymore. We've got the Jets drafts, draft history. We got Jets quarterbacks, Jets coaches, and Jets seasons. So how about we put in the chat, guys? Usually we do 100 players, but put down in there what you would like to see us do. Which of those wheels sounds like the most fun?
That's my vote because that's the one with so many more.
It's
easier to rank one player against one player,
Yeah. If we were to do the quarterbacks or the coaches, guys, I would say let's just do a top 5 because there aren't as many options. And there have only been, 20 coaches in Jets history, something like that, right about that number? I don't know. But if you do a top 10, you're going to have a lot of duplicates. Harlan wants to do the coaches. Oh. Well, we could do we didn't do a wheel for a couple of weeks. So how about we do this? Let's do the coach. Let's do a top 5 coaches as like the warm up, and then we'll do the 100 Jets players. We'll do a top 10 there. How about that?
Fine.
Hey, you know what? Somebody made a request. I never accommodate requests unless I'm asked to do them. So, all right,
let's rock.
Okay, so I'm going to go pull that wheel up. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see if I can do that. Here we go. All right, and let's maximize that wheel. Okay, so it should be popping up in real time any second now. So as we look at this wheel, we see a whole lot of pain. Yep, it's maximized right there. So, Nick, would you like to do the honors and tell everybody how this works and what the rules are?
buckle the fuck up. It's about to get wild. So basically, we spin the wheel, we rank the person, coach, whoever comes up, and you don't know who else is going to come out next. So you might get someone like Rex Ryan who comes up first, and you might say, all right, we'll put him at 3. And then the way the wheel ends up, the number 1 spot's left open, and Rich Kotite comes up with the number 1, but you have to put him there because that's what. So you're creating a blind list, not knowing the other names that will come out. So I think buckle the fuck up is perfect for this.
Here we go. Time to spin the wheel. All right. So we're going to do 5 spins. And if there's, we laid on the same name twice, we will respin. So let's.
Oh, wait. I just noticed something.
What's up?
Harlan said, let's do the coaches with a question mark. It wasn't an actual request. So we could have just said no.
We could have, but I
punctuation is everything.
Yeah.
Exclamation point. We no, we got it.
I could bring coordinators into this, but that would be it would be very, very depressing once we bring in Dallin Loggins on the wheel. You know what I'm talking about?
God. You might as well do a failed draft pick wheel after that.
Oh my God. I have too many to go through.
Here, I got a great wheel. We can do which Jets Hackett was worse, and just the father and the son are on the wheel.
Yes. The answer is yes. Oh, the pain. All right. All right, guys. So we're going to do 5 spins. Oh, yeah. And the one thing that we do, Nate, let's not do the coaches 2 question marks. All right. Put down. Yeah, we're not going to do the whole guess thing like we usually do because there just aren't as many options. We'll break that down for the 100 list. All right, so let's have our first spin in 3, 2, 1. Spin.
Well, Roger, it's okay, Roger. Not everyone can be right.
Oh, boy. Lou Holtz. Well, we started out with one of the worst of all time. Did not even make it through a full season with the Jets before.
Did he quit or was he fired?
I want to say it was 1976.
I think so.
I want to say it was 76. He actually was trying to teach the Jets a fight song. He wanted all the Jets. Imagine teaching a bunch of grown-ass 20, 30-year-old men getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars at the time, trying to have them sing a fight song before every game.
You mean tens of thousands of dollars?
After the New York taxes, that's probably accurate. So, to me, Lou Holtz, he didn't even make it out of year 1. To me, this is I'm going with a 5 on this one. It's hard to get much worse than this.
Yeah. Remember, it's just as a Jet. So,
just as a Jet.
Yeah,
right.
5. I'm fine with that 5. We got some other ones, but most of them lasted more than 1 season. There's only one guy that I know of on there who was 1 season.
Yeah, I think
Groh was 1 season, right?
Groh
was
2000. Season. Yeah, I think was Winter 1? Yeah, I think Charlie Winter was like 2, maybe. And I think that's it. Yeah,
I don't even know.
Charlie Winter was Weeby Bank's son-in-law. He took over after Weeb left.
Okay.
Yeah, so if we have to pull up the stats, we will. But all right, Lou Holtz will be Lou Holtz is definitely a 5. That's right. bottom of the list. Okay, spin number 2 in 3, 2, 1. Round and round it goes, and it comes to a stop, of course, on Charlie Winter. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the. If the computer will let me, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the stats on Charlie Winter. But yeah, I can assure you he was not here very long. And he never would have had the job if his father-in-law wasn't Weeb Eubank. All right, so Winter was born in Somerville, New Jersey. Okay, he was a war veteran. God bless him. He's still alive. He's 99 years old, and he's still alive.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many years did he coach?
He was the Jets coach for 74 and 75, it looks like.
All right. I'm going to guess 13 wins.
Not that. He coached 23 games total.
9 wins.
You are exactly right. 9 and 14. He was 7-7 in 74 and 2-7 in 75, and then Lou Holtz came in. And even Greg Buttle, who's the biggest shill for the Jets in the world, calls it the Lou Holtz error, ERROR. Well, hey, at least Charlie Winter made it out of his first season. So if we put him at number 4, I guess I'd be all right with that.
Yeah. Well, Nate, I see Nate commenting. Nate, there's no guarantee those names come out. We're only doing 5, so we don't know what the wheel has in store for us. That's what makes it so interesting.
I mean, if we get Rich Kotite after this, everybody can just start laughing their ass off. But I mean, maybe we'll get like Rex and then 2 other scrubs or something like that. That might be where it goes. So, but we have 2 of, I would say, either the 3 or 4 worst head coaches the Jets have ever had. We've already got them out of the way. All right. Well, let's go on to spin number 3 in 3, 2, 1, spin. Now, this is going to be a very interesting one because Eric Mangini was here for 3 years. First year, won the hearts of Jets fans and of the New York region, took the Jets to the playoffs, which nobody expected. Second year was terrible. And then the third year was the Brett Favre season. Team had a whole lot of talent, but I thought Mangini that year really revealed himself as a terrible in-game coach. And I think Mangini is one of the main reasons the Jets did not make the playoffs in the year that they absolutely should have. Now, we have to put Mangini either at 1, 2, or 3. And I feel like Jets fans are very mixed on him. Some people love him. Some people can't stand him. So, Nick, where do you fall on Eric Mangini?
I would put him at 2.
Okay.
Because we did get a playoff run in 06 with him. We lost to the Patriots, I know. But he was there to draft Revis. He was there to draft Brick and Mangold. And you got to give him a little credit off the field for that, as well as the coaching. So I'll go 2 because there's only 3 spots left. I don't think we have 2 coaches who are going to pop up who are better. We'll probably get 1 worse, 1 better. So I'm okay with this wheel at 5 doing that.
All right. I think I think with this wheel, considering where 4 and 5 are, I'm okay with Mangini at 2. Looks like the majority. Yeah, Chad, definitely put your votes down. And definitely go ahead and do that. Because you can make your voice heard. But you got to just put that number down in there. Yeah, Roger, Mangini was on The Sopranos after his first year. If it'd been after his second year, he'd have gotten whacked on the show.
Nice.
So, all right. Mangini is going to be number 2 on the list. All right, so we got to fill spots 1 and 3. Yeah, I think we could probably do that. All right, here we go. We're going to spin number 4 in 3, 2, 1, and go. It's Charlie Winter again. All right, so we got to respin that one. Here we go.
Put him at 2.
Yeah. Hello. As a matter of fact, well, what else can we say except we just have to we pretty much have to say it.
You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.
All right, just had to do that. Every time we land on Herman, we have to do that. So, all right. So this is kind of an interesting one because Herman got the Jets to the playoffs quite a few times. Could be a little bit conservative, and he could drive you crazy at times. Definitely, the game in Pittsburgh comes to mind. But the Jets
basically anytime he had to make a decision, it was the wrong one.
He definitely did. You spin to play the game, says Roger. So Mangini, Edwards either has to be a 1 or a 3. We got a couple of 1s. I see a vote for a 3. Nick, where would you go on this one? The 1 or the 3?
Here's what I'm thinking. You have to factor in the wheel, and you have to factor in we only have 1 spot left, and you got to play the odds. Weeb Eubank, Bill Parcells, and probably Rex Ryan would be the ones that go ahead of him.
What about Walt Michaels?
Was that early 80s? That was the Richard Todd team, was Walt
Early,
Michaels?
early,
Before,
early 80s up until
before
the
Walton?
86. Yeah.
All right.
Got to an
He
AFC
went to the
championship
AFC
game
Championship
after
in
playoff
82.
runs.
Mud
Yeah.
Bowl, 82.
Yeah.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 spots on the wheel. We have 4. That's 12. 5 of the 12 would be better than Mangini. I'll put him at 1 because I'll play the odds.
Okay. Nick, I don't know if you to be the one to play it safe, but yeah, I got to feel. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the names: Kozlik, Carroll, Walton.
You know what? You're right. I'm sorry.
Wolves. Oh gosh.
You're right. Fuck it. Let's put him at 3 and let's see what the wheel has in store for us.
Let's go.
I apologize. I'm a little wheel rusty. It's been a minute, and I forgot that I don't play logically with the wheel. I embrace the craziness that is the wheel. So I think it's awesome to have the last spin and have number 1 open.
Yep.
Let's rock out.
Either when one or the top or the bottom spots are open on the wheel. Oh yeah, it gets pretty fun. All right. We're gonna put Herman at 3.
And,
all right, I can live with
for
it.
the record.
What?
Just for the record, we haven't been doing the prediction yet. Throw your guesses in. You're
Do the
rusty
guess
on the
for
wheel
this
too.
one, yeah, guys. Yeah, everybody put down who do you think we're gonna get? Wow, 17 people in the chat. This is awesome. All right, guys. So,
but
for spot
earlier,
1, go
Nate
ahead.
did say Adam Gase, so I'm gonna predict Adam Gase comes out and gets number 1.
I hadn't even noticed. I didn't even notice Gase's name was on the wheel. I guess my eyes are trained to just completely avoid the man. I don't know. All right. Well, just a reminder, number 5, Lou Holtz. Number 4, Charlie Winter. Number 3, Herman Edwards. Number 2, Eric Mangini. So we got about 5 guys who could realistically would be better than Eric and Herman. I'm going to say we land on Robert Saleh. I think that'd be pretty funny if we did.
It's going to be Kotite or Gase. It's going to be absolutely horrible because the wheel is upset that I disrespected it by leaving number 3 open and not number 1. So
the wheel has a family, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's like the
all right, guys. Here, I see Rex Al Grow as well. Roger F says Nasty Nate. Nathaniel Hackett is not on the wheel, but okay.
No. When Nate
referred to Nate in the chat.
he's saying, well, now it's definitely Gase.
Oh, he's nasty. I get it. Okay.
Well, that's a good nickname, though, for Nathaniel Hackett. I'll take it.
Yeah. We could do an offensive coordinator wheel. Oh, my. Can you imagine how depressing that would be?
Oh my God. I would fake COVID to get out of the show.
Oh, God. Oh, if we had to say right now, who's the best offensive coordinator the Jets have ever had? Off the top of your head.
Offensive coordinator?
Yeah. Who would it be? Like Charlie Weiss when Parcells was here? Would that be it? That's all I could think of. I mean Heimerdinger?
You can hate him, but
Schottenheimer.
Paul Hackett went to the playoffs a couple times, dude. Chad Pennington was efficient. You might not like it, but our history is not very goddamn good. You might not like the 3rd and 7 draw plays, but he went to the playoffs multiple years. Chad was one of the highest rated passer in the league.
Mm-hmm.
High efficiency, high completion percentage. Curtis Martin was up in the rushing leaders of the league. We had the 3 Smurf with Corbett, Coles, and Moss at receiver. And we were a competent offense. That might be, as much as we didn't like them, that might be the greatest run of offense that this team's had.
I would have to wonder who the offensive coordinator was like in the early 80s with O'Brien, Walker, Toon, Schiller, McNeil.
Wasn't Bill Walton calling the plays?
Bill Walton? He just passed away.
Joe Walton, I'm sorry.
Okay. Maybe he was because he was an offensive. It might have been Joe. Was Joe? Wait a second. I thought Joe Walton. Wait a second. Maybe you're right. I'm trying to remember if Walton was offense or defense.
All right, I'm pulling it now.
Okay. And the drama builds before we do the number one spin here,
dude.
guys.
This is hysterical.
What?
1985, the New York Jets went 11-5. Do you know who their offensive coordinator was? That's a trivia question right now. Nobody look it up. There's no way any of you know this without Googling it. I will tell you this. His name is on the screen right now. The defensive coordinator was Bud Carson.
Oh, Bud Carson
ran the defense.
His name is on the
screen right now. It's on the wheel.
Oh, I thought you were saying Bud Carson was the offensive coordinator. No, Bud Carson was defense, right? Okay. So,
this man had Ken O'Brien. He had Freeman McNeil, Al Toon, Wesley Walker, Mickey Schuler.
Carroll was defense.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Rich Kotite was the Jets' offensive coordinator in 1985.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. This just I need a drink after that. Wow. I'm not a genius. I don't have all the answers. You talk about witness protection program. Nobody could find Rich Kotite.
We went 10-6. He won. I'm so far in 85 and 86. He won 11 games as an offensive coordinator in 85, 10 games in 86. I'm going to see how long he was there. Let's see his coaching history. There we go. Show coaching history. 83 and 84, he was the Jets wide receivers coach. 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, he was the offensive coordinator. 90, he went to Philly as an offensive coordinator. He was the head coach of Philly for the 91, 92, 93, 94, and the head coach of the Jets in 95 and 96. And surprisingly, never coached again in the NFL.
Can't imagine why. All right. Well, on that note,
I never knew that.
No, we're going to land on Kotite for number one.
That's a great question to stump your older Jets friends with.
Yeah, definitely.
Who was the offensive coordinator in 85 and 86 when they won 11 and 10 games and had one of the most exciting offenses in the NFL?
Unbelievable.
And probably the most exciting offense we've ever had, right?
I don't think there's any doubt. I mean, for a sustained run, if you want to say 2015, that 1 year when they set a few records, yeah. But for a sustained run, yeah, you probably have to go with that 80s run. Yeah, you pretty much have to do it. All right, guys.
I just want to thank Harlan. Harlan, thank you. Because if you didn't ask for the coach's wheel, we probably would have never known this. So thank you, Harlan.
It was all meant to be.
With a question mark. Harlan with a question mark.
Okay. All right, here we go. We got one more spin to go on the coach's wheel, but guys, stay tuned because after that, we're going to break out the 100 random Jets wheel. Okay. For the number one spot on our coach's list, can we get a drum roll? Or just imagine you're hearing one in your mind. In 3, 2, 1, spin.
Nice. Good job.
Oh, it's going Bill Parcells. All right. You know what? I'm good. It was 3 years, it was only one playoff year, but, turned the team around quickly from the absolute abyss, turned it around in 1 year. You can't deny that. So, yeah, I'm good with this list, 1 through 5. How about you?
I think if you put these 5 names out, we would have ranked them in this order. So I think it actually came out perfectly.
Yeah, I think you can make the argument Herman over Eric Mangini. But outside of that, yeah. So I will I will say we won this one.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So that is wheel round number 1. Now let's flip over to the 100 random Jets wheel. Right there. All right, guys.
Can we just take someone off randomly and add Tarik Cohen?
Yes, absolutely. I was going to put Brady Latham on, but All right, guys. Well, you guys know the rules. Now we're going to do a top 10 list. Yep. Yes, Bobby. We got the 100 spin going right now. And, of course, guys, before each round, for each spin, put your guesses on who you think will land on. And if we land on that player, then you get to pick wherever that player is going to be on the top 10 list. All right, so make sure you don't pick the same player, and you can change your pick after every spin. Other than that, everything is the same as it was just now. Bobby, how long does this take? It depends how wacky it gets.
Hey, that's what she said.
Thank you.
But, Bobby, we're only doing a top 10. We're not ranking all 100.
That'll be the next Mother's Day marathon. We'll rank all 100 one day.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Roger F., let me put on my Kellen Winslow Jr. Lucky Hand lotion.
Nice.
I think it was labeled Mr. Happy as he was in the Boston Market parking lot that day.
Was it Boston Market?
Yeah, it was a Boston Market. It was. I got an old Boomer and Carton audio clip of them reading the police report. It was amazing. and 2 jars of Vaseline. That's all I'm saying.
All the things that I send to you, and you don't send me that? You ungrateful friend.
Hey, it's all in the survival kit. What can I tell you? Oh boy. All right, guys. So we're gonna do 10 spins. So now we got to rank these players 1 through 10. So everybody start putting down who you think. Yeah, we got some folks putting some names down. I see Curtis Martin, Justin McCairns, Jericho Cotchery, Brian Winters. I think we need to start on a very low note and work our way up. I think we are going to start with Zach Wilson. Why not?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So now, just so everyone knows, we're ranking them only when they were Jets. So I don't know if he's on there, but if Brett Favre comes out, he's only got 1 year. We're just ranking him for his time as a Jet, not what they did in the rest of their career. I'm going to go with the guy whose cable I cut off at his house in Watchung, New Jersey, when he was no longer with the Jets, and Jericho Cotchery.
Oh my God!
I had the honor as a Optimum Cable guy of doing this. And he lived in a cul-de-sac in Watchung, and on the side of the house was a flat, leveled out area that looked probably like a 40-yard field, like not full size, but it was 40 yards, probably about 25 yards wide to do like running and conditioning on.
Wow. Did you see Roger F's on a roll? Did you see Roger's last comment? Oh my gosh. Dave Meggett dating tips. Wow.
Remind me. I drank for a lot of years. I forget shit.
Well, he's been in jail for a while.
All right, hold on. I'll just.
Yeah.
I shall Google. I will Google this info.
I did meet him, actually. I went to Giants training camp. Actually, when I was like 8-9 years old, I actually did meet him there. So, decent enough guy, but yeah. 9 children from 8 different women, first of all. Good Lord. He wasn't only fast on the field, I guess. Holy.
Well, I'm reading, but 30 years in prison in 2010.
Yep. He has done so much stuff. Like in 1998, arrested in Toronto after authorities alleged he assaulted an escort worker after a 3-way sexual encounter. Oh my God. And that was just while he was still playing. He couldn't pay the child support. He had to sell a Super Bowl ring on eBay. 2009, arrested for raping and robbing a part-time student in Charleston. And that's when he was, November 10, 2010, convicted of burglary, criminal sexual misconduct, 30 years. And his earliest possible parole date is 2034. Oh, it gets better. While incarcerated, Meggett has accrued several disciplinary infractions for possessing or attempted possession of a cell phone, leading to detention and loss of privileges. This guy is not learning anything. Man.
I have so many jokes, but I'm not going to do it on your channel.
Tell me
Just
off air.
know that the wheels in my head are spinning at 1,000 miles an hour right now. I would set a new land speed record if I was allowed to just spit these jokes off without any repercussion.
Oh, boy. I can only imagine, or maybe I don't want to. We didn't even spin yet.
I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of some of them.
Never stop being you. All right. Let's spin the wheel. In 3, 2, 1. Spin number 1. And it's coming to a stop on, oh dear God, Braden Mann. I can assure you nobody mentioned him in the chat.
If we had a third Sheldon Richardson reference tonight, I was just going to go do a wellness check at his house.
Oh, my gosh. All right, guys, 1 through 10. Where are we going to rank Braden Mann? This is
9.
somebody I wish we could have had at the very end of the list when we had like 2 options available.
Now, just for those of you that are new to the wheel, I always like to drop this information for everyone. There are about 5 Hall of Famers. There are about 15 to 25 depending on where you're at. Very good Jets, the Mo Lewis, the Wayne Corbett's, those types of players.
Yeah.
Then there's about 60 who the fuck, what the fuck, why is this guy's name even here? So you got to factor that in, that there are going to be more misses than massive hits that come up on this wheel. You know, there's Le'Veon Bell, there's Buster Screen, there's Chris Herndon.
Buster Screen also
Blair
on his
Thomas
way
and Zach Wilson are next to each other. So I would put Braden Mann at 9 just because if you get somebody like Doug Bryan, you want Doug Bryan to be the shit eater at 10.
Yeah.
Like I'm a very big fan of leaving 10 open until you get a clear-cut 10. I don't think Braden Mann deserves a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a couple 8s up there with Hank and Mess. Harlan with a 7. I would even move up to 8 because I think there are horrific players on there.
Yeah, I mean, Braden Mann, I guess, what was the whole thing? It cost us Trevor Lawrence, apparently. Okay, well. If you want to lower it a little bit because of that, I could deal with that. I think 8. I mean, there have been bigger busts than Braden Mann. And again, he's a punter. I mean, how much is a punter really killing you?
Yeah, I mean,
we expected better from him, but, not bottom of the bottom, but definitely definitely towards the bottom. All right. I think 8 is pretty much the average that we got. So let's go there.
And he's getting the benefit of getting fluffed up the list with coming out first.
Exactly.
Later in this, if 8, 9, and 10 are open, we might drop it. But with 9 more spins left, I would say 8 is perfect.
Nick, Roger referenced your John Hall.
Dare talk about John Hall, Roger. You braced the
Roger. You got to be careful of that one. Nick takes that personally. It's a very very long story.
I'm gonna make my pick for Christian Hackenberg. I think last time we did this, I think we had a very good wheel. Last time I did it with you.
Okay.
I think we have a dog shit wheel this time. I think it's an absolute dog shit list. I'm going to go Christian Hackenberg.
I think we're going to go a little bit better. I think it's going to be one of those conflicting players that we don't really know how to feel about. I'm going to go Braxton Berrios.
Okay. Drop your name, chat. Drop your name. Drop your prediction.
Come on, guys. Keep making those predictions. Bobby's going with Richard Todd. Nate goes with the no longer employed Leon Washington.
Just give me 1 second. Go ahead. I can hear you still.
Okay. Yeah, I'll wait till you're back. Hank G's going with Kelvin Beachum. Yeah, we haven't had Beachum too many times. Haven't landed on him all that often. Okay. Berrios, a lot of people are supposed to be Julian Edelman. There's 2 wide receivers. Every year you hear comparisons to 2 players, Deebo Samuel and Julian Edelman, or Wes Welker, actually. Bobby, I know what time it is. I'm good. Thanks. Yeah, the wheel will probably take us till about midnight. Then we'll probably call it a night. Harlan Abraham goes with one of the biggest legends, Don Maynard. I always point when Don Maynard retired, he led the NFL in career receiving yards. Most people don't know that. And now all of you do. So, for some reason, Roger says Tarik Cohen reminds me of Leon Washington. Well, if Cohen could stay a little healthy, then You never know what might happen, but he's got to prove it after 3 years away, 3.5 years away, really. Assist my
Did I show you this beauty? I think you left before I showed it. You see this beauty?
Wait for that to come up.
You see this before the green screen drops it?
I'm watching the feed through the YouTube because I got the wheel covering up the entire laptop. Oh yeah, there it is. I got it. Nice. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's go spin number 2 in 3, 2, 1.
Hackenberg.
Spin. Yeah. Hackenberg, I said Barrios. We just passed Hackenberg. And it's Foley Fatukasi. Defensive tackle. The best late round draft pick Mike McCagnon ever had. And had a pretty dang good run with the Jets. I'm looking at this, and I can't go towards the top or the bottom. To me, this is pretty much right in the middle. I would go maybe about a 6 or so with this one. He did his job, did it well, nothing flashy. I think right around a 6 makes sense. Nick, what do you think?
I'm a solid 7 here. I could put him above Braden Mann.
Okay,
I'm confident with that. But
yeah, I definitely put him above Braden Mann. Yeah, no doubt.
We might end up wishing we put him at 2 because I'm hoping I'm wrong. That's why I'm saying this. I'm trying to put the kibosh on myself here, but I'm hoping we get some better names. So I'm just going to keep predicting dog shit to come out. So I could put him at 7. What was he with for 3 years?
Dog shit player, yeah. Jets mess with Harlan. Say again.
Was he 3 years?
I thought it was a little longer than that. I thought it was here like 5
years. He left as a free agent, right? So he would have had 4 years.
He did, but he was here. He was here for a bit. He was such a late round pick, though, that I don't think maybe he had a little different contract back then. He's 29.
No, he still get 4.
I know it became that, but I'm not sure that's the way it always was. Yeah, he was here 4 years, 2018 through 2021. All right, so just confirm that. Okay, most of the chat is going with a 5. On the one, I guess on the bright note, that would give us a little bit of room there for 6 and 7, because sometimes you want to spread the wealth a little bit. You don't want to bunch up one particular end of the list. So we got a couple of 5s. You said 7. I said 6. Assist is also saying 6 as well.
All right, I'm fine with 6. I'm not going to argue over Foley.
Yeah, the chat likes Foley. Yeah, they got 5's winning out here. I may have to go 5 on this one.
Let's revisit this in 6 spins, guys, and see how you feel.
Guys, this could be one. It's only the second spin, but this could make or break the wheel. All right. We got to root for some lousy Jets coming up. So
a lot of wheel rookies here. A lot of wheel rookies showing their they don't know what this wheel does.
I'll tell you what I got to do. Next time we do it, I got to make sure Brett Favre is on it because I don't think he is. I don't think. I got to make sure I add Favre. Okay. All right, we're going to go to spin number 3. I'm going to say Vlad Dukas.
Denzel Mims.
Okay. Chat, who do you think it's going to be? Let's see your guesses. Put them down there in the chat. I'll give you about 30 seconds.
I'm going to ask you without Googling. Did Denzel Mims ever catch a touchdown for us in a regular season?
Not in a regular season. He had one preseason touchdown. Okay. Yeah, I remember vividly. That was like the talk. It's like, he's never caught a touchdown. Yeah, never did. Hank G's going with Browning Nagel. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and is this going a little more positive? Going with Wayne Corbett. Okay. We'll probably get like one Hall of Famer, and then the rest is going to be depressing. It's going to go, ooh, Nate with Calvin Pryor. Oh, boy. Yeah. All right, guys, here we go.
That's the spirit, Nate. There you go. Nate's on the dog shit brigade with me.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Harlan Abraham went old school with Jerry Philbin.
Nice.
Oh, it's not going to be a bad one. It's going to be Eric Decker. All right. Well, Decker did have a few good years with the Jets. 2015, definitely his best year when he had Brandon Marshall on the other side of him. But then he started, I think, to get banged up a little bit. Decker, yeah, it was a short run, but it was a good run. I feel like kind of like Fadakasi. He would go somewhere in the middle as well. I could put him at 4 or I could put him at 6, and either way, I'd be okay with it.
So our third player?
Yeah, third player.
I always like to factor in. Oh, he's definitely better than Foley. You know, the signature play is to walk off against New England, so that buys him a little bit of love in Jets lore, right?
Right.
I'll go 4. I'll go 4 because I don't.
His wife isn't hard to look at either.
Give me the name. I forget.
Jesse James Decker.
Yes, DJ. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew who she was when she was single.
she definitely takes care of her physique. Good for her.
It was one of those things where I watched about 30 seconds of their reality show and I had to turn it off. I was just like, oh my God, I cannot watch this. It was.
Oh yeah, I don't.
She's like so explicit. I don't mean like cursing, but like sexually like graphic. It's like I don't even want to watch this. This is too much for me.
Really? Well,
yeah.
You sold me on the goddamn show, and I don't watch reality TV.
I'll tell you off air. Nate, we put Foley at 5, so it's the only numbers occupied are 5.
I'll go up to 3 because I know we're gonna wish we rated him higher later.
All right, so let's see. So you're going 3, Nate's going 3, Harlan, assist, Hank, and myself are all going 4. Huh. All right, I think we're pretty.
4.
Yeah, we're gonna put him at 4. All right,
that works.
That's good. Yeah,
no argument.
Okay, there you go. All right, so we got spots 4, 5, and 8 taken. I think at this point, I'm thinking 80s. I'm gonna go Victor Green.
My favorite. Chris Herndon. Dog shit.
Ooh, woof, woof, woof.
What the fuck is that?
Okay, guys, who's it going to be? Put your guesses down there in the chat. Let's see it. Roger F is feeling a Tom Tupa vibe. Tom Tupa? I don't think I put Tom Tupa on the wheel. I'm pretty sure. What was he here for? 2 years?
Threw more touchdown passes than Hackenberg.
And we threw as many. Yeah, combined. All right, assist is going with Wesley Walker. Hank G likes Dustin Keller. All right, I like that. Jets mess going Antonio Cromartie. Okay. All right, guys, let's spin the wheel. It's going to be spin number 4. Oh, Nate with Kyle Wilson. Maybe my least favorite draft pick of all time.
Piscataway, New Jersey's finest.
Oh, boy. That Piscataway needs to they need to rename themselves. Kerry Rhodes, John Abraham, Christian Hackenberg. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, spin. And it's coming to a stop on one of my favorites of all time.
One of your guy.
Yeah. You know,
I defer to you. This is your guy. You love Brandon Moore more than his own mother does.
Just about. Not as much as I love Pennington, but Moore is up there. More, more, more. How do you like it? How do you like it? All right. Yeah, so I keep saying it. Defensive tackle in college was moved to guard and became an absolute stalwart for 10 years. People talk about DeBrickashaw Ferguson. Go look up Brandon Moore's stats as well because he did it just as much. It's just that right guard is not as glamorous a position as left tackle is. But Brandon Moore, to me, deserves a lot of respect from Jets fans. So, to me, you cannot put him below Decker and Fadakasi. You cannot do it. I'm not going to say I'm putting him.
I'm okay with 2.
Yeah, I would go 2 or 3. Either 2 or 3, I think, is very fair.
I'm going with 2 because I don't think we're getting a lot of big names. That would be my rationale behind it.
Okay.
I'm a big fan. I met him at Poor Billy's for a draft party years ago.
Oh.
And the same day I met Mark Gastineau, they were there. And very, very kind to me.
Nice. That's great. Yeah. From University of Illinois. Hank G with 3, Jets mess. So we got most of the group going 3. We have a couple of 2s as well. Assist wants to go a little bit higher. Wheel has been middling, and there's a whole lot of junk. That's what she said.
Nice. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, 10-year Jet, Nate. Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, was very good for a long period of time. It just wasn't at a position that gets attention. So,
I just got a comment real quick.
yeah.
I love that we could take something like "That's What She Said," which is it's a like rude, inappropriate comment, but then use our manners after. Well done. Oh, thank you. Like we turn
God
we
bless you,
turn it
sir.
into
God bless you, sir.
well done.
Oh gosh. So I think we're pretty torn here between a 2 and a 3. This is gonna be tough. Ugh. I'm I'm trying to think of how much of the gap there is. I feel like there's a decent gap with Moore and Decker, a little bit of a gap when you think about
Oh,
longevity.
dude, 11-year guy over a 3-year guy.
Yeah. I mean,
I think Moore is easily ahead of him. I think there's a gap.
yeah.
That's why I said 2 because there's a gap.
But is he 1 spot ahead or 2 spots ahead? Is kind of is the
I
tough
think
one.
I think he's 2 spots ahead because there's a gap. So you want to leave that gap for another player in between them.
Okay, I'm just gonna go back real quick and take a look. 3, 3, 3, 2, 2. Yeah, we're pretty close, but I think Nick and I are. Yeti wants to save the 2 and roll the dice. Okay,
Listen, I love wheel rationale. Like
we're basically split. We got like 4 3s and 2 2. Oh, David, I think just broke the tie. Yeah, when you factor in the 2s in the chat and the 2s that Nick and I are presenting, David just broke it. All right, so Brandon Moore is going to be a 2. David, you just broke the tie. So whatever happens the rest of the wheel, it's on you.
That's it. That's it.
All right.
David.
So let's give everybody a quick recap on where we are. We've got number 2, Brandon Moore, 4, Eric Decker, 5, Foley Fatakasi, 8, Braden Mann. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yep, that's right. All right, so we have 4 down, 6 to go. All right, yeah, Yeti, we're pushing the 2. Well, hey, it's about the list. The list is all relative. If we don't get, we're not littered with Hall of Famers on this list. So let's see what happens. All right, here we go. We're going to do spin number 5. But I'm going to guess it's going to be Leonard Williams.
Jay Samaro.
All right, chat. Who do you think we're going to land on? I see Joe Namath. Okay. Yeah, so now that we put Brandon Moore at 2, now we're going to start getting like elite players. All right, let's see what happens.
Sometimes you got to wake the wheel up. Sometimes you got to activate the wheel and be like, hey, bitch, get your stuff going here. We're waiting for you.
Nate philosophizing here. The wheel will speak the truth. Yes,
That's
the wheel
it.
will
The
never
wheel
be.
shall reveal all.
Chauncey Stuckey, Browning Nagel, Mark Sanchez. All right, guys, here we go. Let's spin in 3, 2, 1, go. And we're coming to a stop on Victor Green.
One spot too late.
I said his name about one round too soon. To me, Victor Green, right there with Brandon Moore, you could make him a 1 or a 3. I'd say Green is more interchangeable. I think I'd probably put him at 3, but if you went 1, I would not be bothered by it.
I would leave 1 open. I think we're going to get 1 that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
2 spins later, I would say put him there. Victor Green's outstanding. He has promised to come on my show this year too.
Really?
So, yeah, I message with him a lot. I like he responds to me a lot. We engage a lot, and he travels a lot, and he's golfing like every freaking week, which is awesome. Nice. I basically like, dude, we have to go out one time and golf when you're in New Jersey. Right. Not for one of these $500 outings that you do, celebrity, but like I would love to. Like that would be the greatest football thing in my life if I went out and played a round with Victor Green.
That does sound pretty good. Wow. Yeah, it's looking like it's unanimous. It looks like 3 all the way. And I got to be honest, even if we put Brandon Moore 3 and then Victor Green wound up being number 2, I'd still be totally cool with it.
Yeah. But this was the gap that I was talking about, right? Victor Green, I think, slides in there perfectly in between them.
All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, we got picks 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8 done. So we got to start picking some bad players. Maybe we need to start picking good ones and we'll get bad ones. Maybe we should just go that direction now.
Give me Brad Smith.
Give me Lavernius Coles.
Nice.
Yeti wanted to make him a 1. Yeah, we're going to get – yeah, I got a feeling we're going to get at least one top 10 all-time Jet. Victor Green isn't quite there, but he's like top – I don't know, top 20-ish, top 30-ish, somewhere in that area, I would say. All right, assist going with Mangold. We've got Krebet, Chad, my guy. Yeah, when you land on Chad, he's automatically number 1. That's just a rule on this wheel. You kick whoever is out, and you just put Chad Pennington at number 1.
I'm surprised you don't guess him I'm surprised you don't guess him every single time just so you could place him when it comes out.
It would get annoying pretty quickly if I did that. So, all right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, spin number 6 right now.
And I didn't say anyone. Did I say someone?
Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God.
That's why you leave 10 open, baby. Fucking goddamn.
All right, guys, I have one question for you.
10.
9 or 10?
It's 10. It's without doubt.
All right. Again, he
go,
did
go,
win one
go
playoff
fucking
game.
watch it. If anyone says 9, go watch the 2004 playoff game at Pittsburgh and come back and say, oh, yeah, Hank at 11. Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. The hatred for this man.
You could watch the San Diego game the week before when he made the kick to win it. Ducks. All right. Yeah. There's. I'm not even going to try to plead a case. But if we get Christian Hackenberg, just saying. All right.
Listen,
everyone.
I'm fine with Doug Bryan being below a guy who never played a fucking snap for us. That's how much hatred I have for Doug Bryan. I am completely fine. And having a list with no snap NFL, no pass attempt NFL, Christian Hackenberg being above Doug Bryan on a Jet list. That is the equivalent of being an 11, Hank.
Yeti putting him at 1. Well, Yeti's vote overrules everybody. So, Yeti, I'm going to go ahead and put him at number 1 for you.
Why did Yeti guess him?
I don't know. I don't think he did. He just wants him to be 1. No. Bryan wasn't mentioned. No.
Oh, all right.
All right. So, Doug Bryan is obviously number 10. Okay. So, we got remaining 1, 6, 7, and 9 left. Nate, he was a pretty bad kicker most of his career, really, but the kicks he missed at that time, and some of it is on Herman Edwards for getting as conservative as he did. But Bryan had 2 chances to win the game, and he blew both of them.
Didn't Herman Edwards have Chad Pennington take a knee, and that was the one that Doug Bryan hit the crossbar and was short on?
Yes, kicking into the open end of Heinz Field, where nobody makes kicks anyway. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Like, you just died. Oh, God damn.
All right, I'll give you one. I'll give you one for spin number 7. Le'Veon Bell.
Corey Davis.
That would be an interesting one. Okay. Corey Davis would fit very well, actually, in that 6-7 mark. All right, guys, who are we going to pick? This is going to be spin number 7. Thanks for hanging out with us this long tonight, since we've both been doing shows. All right, Darnold, Enunwa, Krebet, Herndon. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. In 3, 2, 1, go. And it's coming to a stop on Brad Smith. Well, he definitely made an impact the time that he was here. Ideally, yeah. I don't think we could put Brad Smith at 1, but spots 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all taken. I mean, you can make an argument if this was open that he was a better Jet than Decker and Barakasi.
What do we have open? We have
1, 6, 7, 9.
He's a 7.
Really?
He had the kick return against the Bengals on Thanksgiving.
He had one against Pittsburgh where he lost the shoe.
No, he lost a shoe against Cincinnati on Thanksgiving.
All right, but he still had a huge touchdown against Pittsburgh that season.
He did. That was a regular season game before we
Yep.
went there and lost in the
Threw
playoffs.
threw the touchdown to Braylon in Indianapolis in the AFC Championship game. I know we lost. I was there. And yeah, let him go.
I'll go 6.
Go 6. Okay, I think 6 is pretty good. Yeah, Hank is going 6. Mess going 6. Harlan going 7. Yeah, I mean he was a gadget. He was a kind of a limited player, but he was able to make an impact. He was definitely able to make an impact. So
he was a poor man's
Cordell Stewart?
No.
What are you thinking of?
My God. Number 84, Dreads, Atlanta Patriots, kick returner, Cordell Patterson.
Cordell Patterson.
He was a poor man's Patterson who didn't stick around for that long.
All right, good. All right. Yeah, I would say 7 is fair. Okay. Yeah, we're a little bit okay, so we're a little bit torn on 6 and 7. Nick, I'm gonna go ahead. I'll go ahead and give this one to you. All right, I'll put Brad Smith at 7. That's fine.
What's Foley at?
5.
Jesus Lord. Told everyone they would regret the Foley. I think this is where you regret Foley. I think Brad Smith made a better contribution on playoff teams than
I mean, he was more obvious. He was obviously a more flashy player. And they were here about the same amount of time.
Yeah, but Foley was part of dog shit teams.
Yeah.
That factors for me, at least. You know?
Yeah.
Did you help us win a playoff game is always the first thing I think of with a player.
And
when we do this.
Yeah. Roger says Lucas over Foley.
So 1, 6, 7, 9 are open?
Yeah, that's it.
6. I'm fine with that.
All right, we'll go 6. You know what? That's probably a good idea. There's a decent gap between Brad Smith and Braden Mann. So I got a feeling somebody might fit into that 7 spot. Yeah, 1, 7, and 9 are left. I got a feeling somebody else slot in between Brad and Braden. Even if they can't in the alphabet. All right. So we got 3 spins left, guys. I'm going to go. Let's pick somebody else who went to jail. I'll go with Buster Screen.
That's so good. That's awesome. That's fucking awesome. That's now you know that you and I talk too much. That's definitely something that I would say.
It is. It sounds like Dave Chappelle. It sounds like something that I would say.
Yes. I think this is the absolute perfect time to have John Hall come out and go to number 1.
The only thing that can make you happier is JoJo Townsell.
I love that name. It's the greatest name in Jets history. Give me a better name than JoJo Townsell. You can't.
Dude, no. You said you're playing golf with Victor Green would be like your ultimate moment. No. It would be a golf foursome with Victor Green, John Hall, and JoJo Townsell. We'd never see you again.
I don't wear jerseys, but if I was gifted a JoJo Townsell jersey, I would wear that shit. I don't even know if like Fanatics would make it. Like, who the fuck is this?
I just need Chad Pennington and Brandon Moore, and you all can decide the 4th one, as long as it's not Kyle Wilson.
All right, I'm gonna go John Hall.
All right, John Hall. Okay. I think we got to go a little old school here. I'm gonna go with Randy Rasmussen. We got to go with an old school Jet.
You're usually a Marvin Powell guesser at some point. You saving that one?
I hadn't really thought of him today.
Today.
I haven't thought of him today, really. Yeah, we haven't landed on Powell, I think, in a little while. Random Aussie. Hello from Australia. Go Rangers, go. Wow. Aussie, good to see you, man. Thank you so much for coming by. Awesome. No pun intended.
Awesome. The awesome Aussie.
Awesome Aussie. Yeah. All right. Roger, Chris Ivory. All right. Harlan Abrams says Winston Hill. Okay.
I mean,
all right. Let's spin the wheel. This is spin number 8 in 3, 2, 1.
Shazam.
We are past midnight.
John Hall. Give me John Hall. Give me John Hall. Give me
Oh
John
my
Hall.
God! Oh, I got it!
Nice.
Oh man, Randy Rasmussen! I got it. First time I've ever done that.
Nice.
Wow.
Well done.
All right. Wow. I'm gonna go play the lottery, guys. I'll see y'all later.
Well done. Where are you putting him?
I can't put Randy Rasmussen below these guys. I mean, he was a Jet for what, 12 years?
You're not putting him at 1, are you? Are you? Is that what you're leaning to?
Dude, I've got 1, 7, and 9 left. That's all we have.
Okay.
I can't put him at 7.
Dude, it's going to be great to have Namath and Curtis Martin at 7 and 9. Do it.
Oh, now you're thinking optimism. Oh.
Yep. Well, I know the wheel. As soon as one gets filled, we have ones come out.
We have ones.
I love it. Put him at 1. I love it.
That sounded so wrong. Okay.
I love it.
All right, just a quick read up on Randy Rasmussen. I want to pull this one up.
No relation to Dennis Rasmussen, pitcher for the Yankees in the 80s.
Right. 15 years with the Jets, actually. Played in won a Super Bowl with the Jets and played from 67 to 1981. Recovered 9 fumbles, too. Wow. And played 207 games. I mean, yeah, he's in the Ring of Honor. He was in the Ring of Honor pretty much immediately. Yeah, I got to give it. Normally, he would not be number 1. He'd be like just a little below that. But with what we have, there's no doubt he's number 1 on this list.
Let's get nuts. I like it.
All right. So let's recap the wheel because we are in a very interesting place right now, guys. We have spun the wheel 8 times. And so far on that wheel, we have at 1 Randy Rasmussen, 2 Brandon Moore, 3 Victor Green, 4 Eric Decker, 5 Foley Fatukasi, 6 Brad Smith, 7 is blank, 8 Braden Mann, 9 is blank, and number 10, Doug Bryan. So we have 7 and 9 left to go. And I'll be honest with you, I think we could do this. We're looking for 2 players worse than Brad Smith, better than Doug Bryan, but we got Braden Mann right in the middle there. This is going to be very, very interesting if we have like a guy who we're torn with between 7 and 9.
I'll take Curtis Martin, please, for 1,000.
I'll take Chad Pennington just to break my heart. All right, Chad, who's it going to be?
Who's it going to be, him or me?
All right, Derek Mason. Okay.
Oh, good one.
Random Aussie, I want to know who you think it's going to be. Random Aussie, put your name down there. Assist goes with Robbie Anderson. Okay. Okay. I'll give you about 30 seconds. Darrell Reeves, Hank G says, pretty much going to near the top
what
of
I'm
the
looking
ladder
for,
on that
Hank.
one.
That's what I'm looking for, Hank.
I would be fine with that because, I would drop him automatically 6 spots because he won a Super Bowl in New England.
I know. You harp
All
on
right,
that.
guys.
I'm not mad at him for that.
I know. All right.
We don't trade him. He never goes to the Patriots. If we don't trade him, we traded him away. He had no loyalty to us anymore.
Cologne. Roger, you're putting on players I don't even have on the wheel. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Curtis Martin, baby. Curtis Martin, baby. Curtis Martin, baby. Mickey
Oh,
Schuler.
it's gonna hurt. Mickey Schuler. All right. All right. I think this one's pretty straightforward. I think we got to put him at 7 because there's no way we can have him as a 9. I mean, pretty much the best tight end in Jets history. Just about the best tight end in Jets history.
Joe Namath is going to be a 9. I love this wheel.
All right. All right, guys. That was pretty easy. So let's just go ahead and make our last spin of the night. Spin number 10 for spot number 9. That's a nice ring to it.
Joe Namath. The guests don't matter because it automatically goes there. But
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I'm predicting Namath as a just clusterfuck of a wheel.
Then I'm going to pick John Hall just to make you go nuts. In 3, 2, 1.
To be fair, though, John Hall was number 9.
Exactly. Not bad. B. Milner. That one actually worked out great.
It fits.
That fits perfectly. Yeah, D. Miller did have like 2 or 3 good games against Brandon Marshall and Josh Gordon against Cleveland. But we know one of the worst draft picks the Jets have in recent memory. So
That's saying a lot.
yeah, the fact that they got him as we mentioned Revis, and he was basically the replacement for Revis. At least in theory, he was supposed to be, and that did not quite work. But I got to tell you, though, with Mickey Schuler at 7, I would have probably had him probably around maybe between Victor Green and Eric Decker, but definitely above Foley Fatukasi,
Fair.
All right. Well, guys, I hate to tell you this one, but we'd had some pretty good success with the trivia and with the coaches. We won there. But as far as the 100 Jets wheel for the night goes, I don't think we made a successful top 10 list.
Why? Why? Are you just talking about in terms of the names that came out, or how the ranking worked?
10, yeah. Sure, we put him in too low of a spot.
Okay.
I can't go with it. All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what.
Back to that Foley selection I spoke about earlier.
Yeah, I mean, if we put him at 7, it still would have worked. We probably might have put Brad Smith at 5. I mean, who knows? But yeah, definitely Schuler. I would probably even put Schuler above Decker, to be honest with you. I would have been above
Definitely.
I've done that. Yeah. So to me, Schuler would have been about 3 or 4. That would have been really, really good.
Are you talking about Mickey Schuler? He of great Rich Kotite offensive lore?
Yes. Yes.
I am never going to stop talking about
a superstar.
It's literally, I'm so happy that I joined tonight, and I'm so happy that Harlan mentioned that we do that coach's wheel. Otherwise, we would never have found out that Rich Kotite was the offensive coordinator in the 80s.
True. Yep. That's the thing, guys. You get entertainment, and we all learn something together. That's the fun of it. Nick, we're going to close out in a moment, but Nick, just plug your stuff and where people can find you.
Proud NYJ fan. To you fine, distinguished gentlemen. Thursday night throwdown. Sunday night, that's 10 o'clock after Green Bean tomorrow. Sunday night, 9 o'clock with T.O., Uncle VR. Adam will be on with us Sunday night. We'll put a list together. I'll message you and let me know what kind of list you want to do. We'll talk tomorrow. And
Sounds good.
And Wednesday nights, Pride and Chaos. And some Wednesday nights here after that.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, Nick, thanks so much for joining. As far as I go right now, right now we're doing the Wednesday night show at 10 p.m. It may or may not change just because my work schedule, as I mentioned at the top of the show, is a lot earlier than it used to be. Like I got to be up pretty much in about 6.5 hours. So that's a little difficult, especially when starting a new job and getting acclimated. Got to be in on that. But if there are any updates, I'll put a post out. I will let everybody know. Definitely be doing some more Rangers content coming up, so be on the lookout for that. But I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, and we will see you right back here with more content from you all nowhere. See what I did behind me right there?
Throw some sass into it.
The Wicker Chair! Good night, everybody. We'll see you later. Be well.
Later,